writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
This is Shut Up and Get a Customer here on KLRN Radio. Sales insights for those looking for an unreasonable amount of success. Featuring Dan Jordan, the sales energizer. Online at RemedySalesMatch.com. Dan Jordan's advice, shut up and get a customer. Find out more at RemedySalesMatch.com.
You know, this is great. Marquis.
Yes. I knew Dan before.
They gave us another. My head may explode if you don't lower these things somehow.
Well, I'll just lower them.
Well, lower them a little more.
Okay.
Head explosion.
There we go.
Very good.
No?
I mean, I'm allowed. I told you that. My sister always told me that I've always had wax in my ears because it's my body trying to protect itself from loudness. Hello, and group out there. This is Shut Up and Get a Customer. I'm the Deej. Thank you again for listening. And remember, this show at Wealth, Fame, and Good Fortune is at your beck and call if you simply focus on one thing and one thing every day, and that is get a customer. By the way, even if you're not a salesperson, get a friend. Do something. You know, a weird thing happened. A lot of times, Marquis, I've practiced and I have show notes.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah. You might know.
For this show?
Yes.
Look. I see there.
But this show is very special.
Oh.
Because I have someone here with me.
Who is that?
That is not only someone who's creative and wise and has good things to say, but
where is this guy?
Probably one of my closest friends.
Oh, well, thank you. It's not me? Oh, okay.
So this is a guy that I can count on to carry me. He's a perfect wingman. So even if I've given him no preparation, no idea of what we're going to talk about today, because I really don't know. But I know that my friend Tom Nixon will be able to pull some magic out of this hat. Say hi.
I'm glad you said out of my hat. Hello, everyone. Hello.
Tom Nixon is a world-famous, he doesn't think he's a salesman, but he really is. He has the magical ability of making PowerPoint actually interesting in a presentation.
He does not. No one can do that. No one can do that. I was in the Army for a long time, and power is death by PowerPoint. It is death. Right down.
Why, they do that in the military, too?
Every meeting you go to, it's a PowerPoint slide. And every brief you go to is a PowerPoint slide.
You're kidding me.
I kid you not.
Why are you not doing business, Tom Nixon, with the government?
Because obviously they don't want it. Well, do you think they want to deliver clear messages to people? Oh, no. Do you think they want to communicate? I've created hundreds of thousands of PowerPoint slides. I promise you.
Wait a sec. This is all new. Get away. You're telling me that the generals or who's giving you these briefings?
Everyone.
So
every week we have a training meeting, and every training meeting entails everyone in the battalion, the battery, the division level, the brigade level. Each small individual level has a meeting about what's going on in that unit. Or that particular
so what do these PowerPoints look like?
Oh, they look like your generic PowerPoint slide with your battalion, brigade logo, the names, Hey, this soldier has an Article 15. This soldier's on leave. This soldier's sick. It's so boring. You must get a lot of sleep. Oh, I did during those meetings.
He's got 5 kids. The guy gets no sleep.
Sleep is involved in that whole equation somewhere, I'm sure.
He's got the whole thing going on. Well, So how do you make it interesting? Would they allow? I mean, who makes these PowerPoints?
The soldiers do. I used to make them all the time. Yeah.
Was there ever any training?
No. You just get on there and you just wing it.
Well, this is weird, but this is the Army.
Yes.
Yes, this is the people that are protecting us from evil forces around the world.
The word Army and just wing it should never be in the same
You
sentence.
have no idea.
Really? Gosh, I don't even want to talk about that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But, it's a problem. Let's say, Tom Nixon, you actually have something that could help them. And could it help them? What does a good PowerPoint do? What does a good PowerPoint do as opposed to just what Marquis was putting together, the bunch of garbage that he was doing?
The type of PowerPoint that I try to teach people is to support the speaker so that the speaker can be the star of the show. And if the speaker doesn't want to be the star of the show, which I would guess would be about 95% of the people in the Army, then they don't have any motivation to have good PowerPoint because they want PowerPoint to take over everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they
So do you just read it?
Oh, yes. And then what happens is you'll get those commanders who will be like, I can read.
Yeah,
Next slide.
that's exactly.
And you're like, this is what you wanted.
Now,
This is what you emailed me about.
there is a great piece of advice, and it has to do with the military, that I think I heard it a long time ago, but it's been constantly reinforced by a fellow I do a lot of work with. His name is David Greenberg. David Greenberg talks about working with the Marines.
He's a rock star, by the way.
David Greenberg is a rock star in presentation, coaching, and skills. And he calls it the BLUF strategy, BLUF. Have you ever heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You have?
Yes.
Yeah. It basically means when you make a presentation, you put BLUF, bottom line up front.
Yep.
In other words, consider there's a general sitting in your audience. You walk in, you start going blah, 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 blah. And he stands up and says, what's the bottom line? You want to know where we're going with this. What's the decision? So the example that I think David has used a lot is you walk in, your presentation begins. You say, we need 10,000 soldiers in wherever, in the Panama Canal.
Baltimore?
By the end of, in Baltimore. By the end of tomorrow, what questions do you have for me? So you'd just lay your big deal right out on the table, bottom line up front, and then you start having a discussion about it. And
so they're not using the PowerPoint.
They can use PowerPoint to format the discussion or to frame the question or to give some background information.
You see, that's the whole thing about sales. You say people try to use the tools, but it's always about the person.
It's always
about the presenter. Mm-hmm. I was in the bathroom the other day.
This is not going to go well.
It always goes well.
Most of his stories start this way.
This is true, though. I'm there. Yeah. I'm going to the bathroom, and there's a guy there. He was in the one area, and I was in the other area.
This is his own personal bathroom.
And the guy is on the phone talking to a client. I mean, it was an obvious sales. He was selling water treatment things. I don't know what he was doing. In the bathroom. And then, you think he's going to have a little decorum. So he flushed.
Yeah.
On the phone with the customer, he flushed. I'm thinking, this is crazy. Then I'm watching this. Now I'm.
That was probably a $50 million deal right there.
I don't know what he was good. He was a good sales guy, but he was in flushing. So then, but I guess when he got out to the hand washing place, he thought, the hand washing would cause too much noise, and so he didn't want to let him know. So then he walked out without washing his hands.
Oh my gosh.
Water filtration. Men
do that.
I wouldn't. Men do that.
Men do that all the time. Yeah.
You ever notice that?
Yeah, I've noticed it a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Do you ever now? If you've been in a hospital recently, I've been in a hospital a number of times visiting some folks. A lot of times in the hospital, they'll put a trash can right by the door to the bathroom.
They should, so you can open the door with the.
You open the door with your hand towel, and then you can walk out without touching the.
Do you do that? Mm-hmm. My wife yells at me. Does your wife yell at you for washing your hands for everything?
Yes. Sneezing, chew, bless you, all that stuff.
No, even if you're, let's say I just walk in and there's a little food on the table, so I grab a fork and I'm grabbing whatever. I have to wash my hands for that. Now, I'm not touching the food. Actually, you ever be in the bank and they give you cookies? There's little cookies in the bank? So you
don't go to those kind of banks,
lollipops.
There's a bank and there was cookies, and there was, usually there's 10, and they have a little tool to use the 10. But if there's only one left, do you need to use the tool?
Well, I don't know. That's certainly.
All right. Well, listen,
we could do a whole show about that.
We're going to figure that out when we get back. On the other side, remember, if you want to check me out a little bit more, go to my website, RemedySalesMatch.com. Follow me on Facebook. Do all that other garbage, and I'll see you in a couple of seconds.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
Now, on to the next segment. Here's your host, Dan Jordan.
Oh, I need to
Marquis.
Yes.
So in the break, I told Tom Nixon that he had to stand up because it makes your voice better. By the way, for you salespeople out there, absolutely stand up when you're talking. You got to stand up. If you're cold calling, you're doing anything, or getting money, if somebody calls you on the phone, stand up. All of a sudden, look how much better. Your voice is so much different. You're so much better. You can't, it's like an immediate change. The other thing you can do is put a mirror right in front of your desk, too, so you can look at yourself talking. Now, you feel like an idiot. Don't get me wrong. But you'll make more sales.
You'll make more sales.
Absolutely.
Is this proven?
Absolutely, it's proven by me and anyone else. And then Tom Nixon told me that Rush Limbaugh stands up. Do you have a Ditto Cam?
No.
You don't subscribe to the Ditto Cam of Rush?
No, not the Rush Ditto Cam.
No, you
Neil
can't do
Bortz
that.
used to stand up all the time.
Tom Nixon, why don't you tell the fans what you do?
I'm a graphic designer. Oh, sorry. I design graphics. 35 years I've been doing this craziness. I got involved in photography, and that didn't earn me any money. So I got into graphic design. I love doing print work. I love going to a printing plant, a huge printing plant, and seeing all the jobs there and feeling and smelling all those chemicals that rot your brain out. Very, very exciting. See everybody's work. I love that.
Really?
But print died. So
what do you do now?
Well, I design PowerPoint.
So print lives digitally.
Print lives digitally. So about 10, 12 years ago, well, actually, about 25, 30 years ago, I was designing slides for a speaker. And they would be photographs. I would lay out a page or whatever, and I would photograph it and turn it into an actual slide that would go in a slide projector. And
was he good?
The speaker? No, he's terrible.
Really?
Oh, he's horrible.
Well, who was he?
Oh, I can't tell you.
Why not? Is he still alive?
No, he is not still alive.
So there's absolutely no... A, we have 3 listeners, and B, he's not alive.
His name was Conway Hunter.
I can't believe you said his name. What's wrong with
what does it matter with you?
No credibility.
He was a terrible speaker. He was one of those speakers that would grab onto the podium and hold it with all his strength and just shake and sweat, and he's terrible.
But I thought you told me that you worked for a guy that was really good, that changed lives.
Oh, yeah.
You still love it, don't you?
Absolutely.
What do you love about it? The creativity?
Yeah. It's taking other people's beautiful stuff and combining it together and make beautiful stuff of my own.
I was at Starbucks. You ever been to Starbucks?
Yeah,
Marquis?
been to Starbucks.
Yeah. Do you get those fufu drinks with the whipped cream?
Yes, and I get everything.
Do you?
No, I don't.
No?
I normally get like a sandwich or something.
DJ gets stuff that looks like swamp water.
You get a sandwich?
Yeah, from Starbucks.
Oh,
I can't stand coffee.
That's the biggest ripoff. Why would you go there then? Get a sandwich somewhere else.
That's some really good sandwiches, though.
Marquis obviously is a man of means.
I'm at Starbucks the other day, and it was a group of kids. They must have been, I don't know, 9th or 10th graders, young kids. And I was absorbed in their conversation, eavesdropping. I was waiting for somebody. And not that I knew anything that they were talking about. One hated a teacher, one liked the boy, one did that. Who knows what they were talking about. But the excitement and the gleam, with the sparkle in their eyes, it was infectious. I couldn't stop. I was so attracted to that.
Do you know what it is?
What?
Hormones.
Hormones? Mine or theirs?
Theirs.
Oh, thank
All they wanted
goodness.
to do was swap hormones. That's all they wanted.
Maybe so that makes the spark in the eye. You are one cynical old man.
I am.
Well, it makes sense, though. Think about it, And when you're that age, think about when you were that age, 18, 19, 16. You were so full of energy.
Yeah.
You had that built-up testosterone that you just wanted to go run through a wall.
You'd have to walk down the halls with your notebook in front of your
Let's not go there.
Let's not go there. I gotta go
It's
there.
true. I mean, if the wind blows from the east, all of a sudden, you're saluting the flag for some reason.
Oh, my goodness.
But so, Tom Nixon... But the thing is, those people, they figured out a way, that sparkle in their eye, figured out a way to get people to want to find out what's going on in their conversation. What if salespeople did that? What if your presenters that were doing your PowerPoint stuff did that? What if they had such excitement and enthusiasm about their life and their future and what they're looking to do, that they had that sparkle that you couldn't help but watch them and your horrible PowerPoint? What if a presenter did that? You think maybe they'd sell more?
So, are you suggesting that they need hormones?
I think they would sell more. I'll answer the question because I don't really know anything about sales, and I hate PowerPoint.
I think so too. Right? You see,
so the two people on this side of the desk are your mortal enemies. Is that what you're saying?
The point is, the tools that you use in your sales presentation, while they could ruin the sale, they can't help it nearly as well as the presenter, the salesperson themselves.
That's absolutely true.
Work on yourself, not on that product.
So why am I here?
What? Because what people will do if they don't do your stuff is that they depend on something that's actually making them worse. You got to just give them some stuff that makes them at least equal, so they don't lose when they go in.
I think, I've worked with a lot of professional speakers, and I've worked with a lot of executives, people who really feel the need to make a superstar presentation. And the biggest chore I have is getting the PowerPoint out of their way and letting them connect with the audience. Because if they have any kind of personality whatsoever, if you give them the confidence, if you can help them build the confidence to connect with their audience, to talk directly with them and let the slides back them up, they will elevate themselves 1,000%.
So what's the best way? Can you use it? Do you use your slides as an enhancer, as a punchline, or do you use it as the main event?
Well, I get down kind of into the weeds with this. I've got 3 basic concepts that I try to give people to help
Now he's
them.
talking about pot. That's the whole thing with these guys.
That's right.
You're trying to keep it at a high level with PowerPoint, and he starts talking about weed.
So here we go.
They call it weed now. I never did when I was a kid. We always called it pot.
That's because you were too stoned to realize what was going on. Yeah.
I never did.
Listen
Anybody who knows me, I'm always afraid of it.
Who was it that said something about marijuana and not inhaling
What have I
or
fallen
something?
into today?
Yeah, I know, but it's true.
Yeah, and he said it was true too.
I never inhaled.
I never once had sex with that joint.
Actually, I tell you, I think I will tell you that I never remember smoking pot. But Ralph Corallo would tell you that one time I took a puff.
I snorted it
when I was in New York, and it was a group. What was the name of that band? Timbuk 3.
Oh, Timbuk 3.
They used to sing this song. My future's so bright, I gotta wear shades. It was something. Anyway, so I was so blown out on tequila, I jumped up on stage and grabbed the harmonica and started playing. I got kicked out of the bar, and I ran. I'll tell you why I ran. Because I was in New York, and I once saw somebody else get kicked out of a bar. And they took this guy, and they put him on the ground. They put his face down on the curb, and they kicked the back of his head, and they knocked the whole front row of his teeth out. And so that was in my mind. So I ran. But when I came back, Ralph Corallo said that I smoked, that I took a puff of a joint, but though I don't remember it.
Well, Jim Rohn had a quote about this. He said, excuses are the nails used to build a house of failure.
Amen. That's true.
That is true.
No excuses.
No excuse. So if you took the puff, you took it. No excuses.
I know. I'm just saying I don't remember it. And
how many quotes from Jim Rohn are there out there that are...
it's a website with just 101 right now.
Live your entire life just by his quotes.
We do a Jim Rohn. Absolutely. He lived his whole life by his quotes.
Yeah, he would not want to listen to any of this show, by the way.
If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse.
Right.
Jim Rohn.
That's good stuff. That's stuff to live by there, Marquis.
Yeah,
he should be on this side of the table, shouldn't he?
You were saying, before you started smoking pot.
Three things you can do with PowerPoint if anyone in this audience is interested. The first is get as much text off the screen as you can. Because the more text you put on the screen, the more you'll try to read it, which is the thing that everybody hates. So get that off the screen. Leave enough text on there to remind you of the things you need to talk about. And then you, as the expert, and assuming you are the expert, because if you're not, you shouldn't be in front of the room, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you, as the expert, can talk about whatever you want to talk about this subject, but you don't have any words on the screen to read. Put a nice picture up there. Like if you're talking about one of the examples I use is juvenile diabetes. Put a picture of a kid up there with a headline, and then you talk about that. Have a conversation with your audience.
What if it's something technical? Because a lot of times you're dealing with these fancy computer salespeople and things like that, and they say, it's too technical, or engineering salespeople.
Well, it comes down to what you want to do with your presentation. Do you want to walk them through the specifics of your product or your service? Because if you do, it probably would be better to give them a handout and walk through it piece by piece. If you're not going to walk through that, if you're just going to give them the big 30,000-foot picture and say, we have a handout with all these benefits and features and all the numbers and all that, but I want to tell you why this is going to be the best thing you've ever purchased for your company, then stay at that level, stay at that high level in your presentation. If you spend a lot of time talking about numbers and little tiny things in your presentation, people are going to fall asleep. So don't do it. Don't do it. Stop.
Makes sense.
Stop it.
Did you ever fall asleep in a presentation in the Army?
Yes.
Did you ever
of
not fall asleep?
Oh, it's been some I haven't, because I either had to present it, or it was some really important information I had to give to my soldiers.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's the same, by the way, when you're prospecting. If your customer will never hang up on you while they're talking.
Nope. That's
and that's
true.
the same thing with your speeches and presentations. Get the audience involved, and then they won't.
I do that with telemarketers.
What?
I start talking.
I start talking and just hang up. That's hilarious. I love
do you do that?
Oh, yeah.
Did they ever call back?
No.
I would call back.
Well, then I do it again. I do it.
I'd call back 100 times.
And I'd keep talking until?
It would be in a battle royale. People do that. I don't ever understand that. You could just be kind to the telemarketer who just say, you know what, I'm really not interested, and then they go away.
Doesn't work.
No?
No. They'll call back. I've had the same 800 number calling me, and I keep telling them, hey, can you remove me from your call logs?
As soon as you say that, you're shot. You can't say that. You got to enjoy the
somebody live. Yeah.
Let them give you their pitch. I do that. I'll call back. I'll let them give me their pitch.
Well, the worst thing...
I hired somebody once that way.
The most valuable thing they have is their time. So if you use up their time, they will not call you back.
Are you talking about the telemarketer themselves?
Yeah.
Use up their time.
Yeah. Just engage them in a conversation. Oh, yeah, really? That sounds great.
Yeah, but that's taking away my time. I think you need to shut the ringer off.
You have to be sadistic, like I am, and say, I'm going to make this person pay for interrupting my dinner.
You really are a terrible person.
I am.
Can I tell you something good about my son?
What's that?
Okay, it was very good. This is actually a real story. So the boy, we got some sort of a phone call from the counselor.
Mm-hmm.
Said, come in, there's he's going to get some sort of award. All right. Now, I know my son, and he's not the brainiac of the troops. All right. It's just not. So we go there, and there's all these awards, and, honor roll, dean's list. There's, sports accolades and all this stuff, teams and individuals and all those things. Nothing, for Matthew. Well, nothing's going on here. Then right at the end, we're handing out for the entire school 4 character awards.
Oh.
But good character, not like, he's a character. 4 good characters. One for honor, one for... Anyway, so we got this service award for character, having from the whole school, my little Matthew, which turns out to be like a great thing for colleges and all that. But more importantly, it's exactly what I had said when he was little. Like, it was like validation of parenting. When he was, I told him at the beginning, I said, Matthew, you can come home with any kind of, trophy or anything from sports, and I'll be happy. But the thing I'll be happiest about is if I hear from your teacher that you helped another kid or you helped somebody else. And I think he actually did that, and he was recognized for that. Is that not the coolest thing?
It really is. I like that.
Yeah. It was, so that's like a true validation that things are right. And that is exactly what this show is about. This show is about elevating the idea of sales. See, people have this opinion of a used car salesman. They just drive down their throat and you got to buy and scream out and all that stuff. And they have to be loud and bombastic and that whole thing, which I can be at times if I believe in something.
At times.
Which I can be at times. But really, the best salespeople, the most successful salespeople, the most successful businesses, the stores that are most successful are the ones who serve the most. Selling is serving. If you serve more, the reason why Walmart does so well is because it serves a lot of people. And it does it well. And that's what you need to think about when you get into this terrific industry of sales. It's the only one that you can not only change your life every day by meeting that special person, that new account, but you can change the lives of everybody that you meet. You really can.
And it all starts with your presentation.
It starts with your presentation. It starts with your attitude, and it starts with the skills that you get. And people lose it all the time unless they have, and the best example of that is a lousy PowerPoint.
Yes. You ever seen TED Talks?
Have I ever? Tom Nixon, can you talk about TED Talks?
I think I can. I've seen TED Talks. Most of them are pretty good. I think they've diluted their brand a little bit. But there are some astounding presentations.
That Seth Godin one, that you remember years ago, the way they do the graphics on those TED Talks are exactly the type of thing that Tom Nixon does.
And that's beautiful. I love TED Talks. Sometimes it makes me want to invest in some of these companies that I have no real reason investing in.
Did you ever put together a TED Talk type PowerPoint presentation?
Last week.
You did?
Oh, all the time.
Oh, wow.
All the time. That's what I do.
And you're not allowed to tell me for whom?
It was for a large consulting firm in India.
A large consulting firm in India?
They do $40 billion a year.
Is putting up $40 billion?
$40 billion.
With a B?
With a B. With a very large B.
And who do you deal with?
I dealt with a person who was the person who dealt with the CEO.
Well, so let's say some of our many listeners want to get in touch with you. How would they do that?
TomNixonDesign.com. That's me. That's my website. And just shoot me an email. There's links on there for all that stuff. They can look at a lot of my work. You can see a lot of what I do. And we can have a conversation and see where we need to go.
Well, thank you so much, Tom Nixon. You're the best. You're going to come back on, and we're going to show the troops over your actual thing of your work. If you want to check me out after the show, RemedySalesMets.com. Find me on Facebook, on Twitter. I'm the Deej. We'll see you next time.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote. Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
Hey, KLRN Radio family, this is Joey Wensler of Wens World. Take a trip with me every single Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. An excursion to Wens World, where variety reigns.
Extra